Hello everyone. Welcome back to Wanderlust Ventures. Today, we're diving into one of the most fascinating shifts in global wealth, the incredible rise of Singapore and how its citizens are now wealthier than people in many of the world's most powerful and historically dominant countries. Now, when we think about global powers, nations like Japan, China, Russia, Germany, or even the United Kingdom often come to mind. These are countries with massive economies, huge populations, and powerful military or political influence on the global stage. But here's something surprising: when we measure wealth on a per-person basis, Singaporeans are actually richer than citizens in many of these giant nations. Singapore, a tiny city-state with a population of just over 6 million, has transformed itself in just a few decades. From a struggling port city in the 1960s to one of the world's leading financial hubs today, Singapore is now a symbol of innovation, stability, and economic growth. Its GDP per capita, which means the average income per person, is among the highest in the entire world, surpassing many traditional powers. This is not just about money. It's about lifestyle, opportunities, and what it means to live in a country where prosperity is widely shared. Imagine this: a country smaller than New York City is now home to people who enjoy better living standards than citizens of massive countries like China, Russia, or even Italy. So in this video, we'll explore 10 powerful countries where Singaporeans are now wealthier. You might be shocked to see some of the names on this list. Let's get started. Number 1. Spain. Spain is known for its rich culture, history, and vibrant lifestyle. But when we look at economic figures, Singaporeans enjoy a much higher standard of living. Spain's GDP per capita sits at around $30,000, while Singapore's is more than $80,000. That means on average, Singaporeans earn nearly 3 times more. While Spain faces challenges like unemployment and slower economic growth, Singapore's focused planning and global trade position give its citizens stronger financial security. Think about it: a country with football giants like Real Madrid and Barcelona is financially behind tiny Singapore when it comes to individual wealth. That's how far Singapore has risen in the global rankings. Number 2. Portugal. Portugal, famous for its beaches and wine, is a beautiful country, but its economy has long struggled with lower wages and limited industrial growth. The average GDP per capita is about $25,000, which is far below Singapore's. This means that even though Portugal has a high quality of life in terms of culture and environment, financially, Singaporeans are significantly wealthier. It's quite stunning when you realize that a country with centuries of history and exploration is now behind a city-state that was once considered a developing port. Number 3. South Korea. South Korea is a tech giant, home to Samsung, Hyundai, and global K-pop influence. Yet, when it comes to personal wealth, Singaporeans are ahead. South Korea's GDP per capita is about $35,000 to $40,000, while Singapore more than doubles that. Despite Korea's success in technology and entertainment, issues like long working hours and housing costs make Singapore's wealth and stability stand out even more. This comparison shows that economic innovation alone doesn't guarantee higher living standards; it also requires efficient wealth management, something Singapore has mastered. Number 4. Russia. Russia is one of the largest and most resource-rich countries on Earth. But due to economic sanctions, political challenges, and unequal wealth distribution, its GDP per capita is only around $15,000. This is just a fraction of Singapore's. It's surprising that citizens of a small Southeast Asian country enjoy more wealth than those in the world's largest nation by land. Even with oil, gas, and nuclear power, Russia hasn't managed to spread prosperity to its people the way Singapore has for its citizens. Number 5. China. China is the world's second-largest economy and a rising superpower. But because of its massive population, the wealth per person is relatively low, about $13,000. Meanwhile, Singaporeans are more than 6 times wealthier. This shows how population size affects wealth distribution. Even though China's economy is huge overall, Singapore's small but efficient system makes its people richer on an individual level. It's a fascinating reminder that bigger doesn't always mean better when it comes to personal prosperity. Number 6. Italy. Italy is one of the G7 economies, famous for fashion, design, and food. But its GDP per capita is about $35,000, far behind Singapore's. Italy has also faced economic stagnation and debt issues in recent years. On the other hand, Singapore continues to grow steadily, giving its people stronger purchasing power and financial security. The irony is that Singaporeans today can afford Italian luxury goods more easily than many Italians themselves. Number 7. Japan. Japan is another surprising entry. As the world's third-largest economy, one would expect Japanese citizens to be very wealthy. But Japan's GDP per capita is around $40,000, while Singapore nearly doubles that. Despite Japan's innovation and technology, decades of slow growth and an aging population have kept incomes relatively flat. Singapore's younger, globally connected workforce gives it the edge here. It's truly remarkable, a nation smaller than Tokyo itself has wealthier citizens than all of Japan. Number 8. United Kingdom. The United Kingdom, once the world's richest empire, now has a GDP per capita of about $46,000. That's impressive, but still far behind Singapore. London may be a global financial hub, but Singapore has risen to compete directly, and its smaller size means resources and opportunities are concentrated more effectively for its citizens. Backhand index pointing right from ruling the seas to being surpassed by a tiny island, Britain's story shows how fast global wealth rankings can change. Number 9. France. France, the land of fashion, art, and global influence, has a GDP per capita of about $45,000. Yet, Singaporeans once again enjoy nearly double that figure. France faces challenges such as high taxes, social unrest, and slower economic growth, while Singapore remains politically stable and business-friendly, allowing wealth to grow faster. Imagine this: the country of Paris, one of the most expensive cities in the world, is still financially behind Singapore on an average citizen level. Number 10. Germany. Germany, Europe's largest economy and industrial powerhouse, may surprise you on this list. Its GDP per capita is about $55,000, but Singapore is still wealthier by a big margin. Even though Germany is strong in manufacturing and exports, its large population spreads the wealth more thinly compared to Singapore's smaller, concentrated population base. Singapore's success proves that being small isn't a disadvantage, sometimes it's the secret to building prosperity more effectively. So, what does this all mean? It shows us that economic power doesn't always equal individual wealth. Countries like China, Russia, or even Germany are global heavyweights, but when we look at how wealthy the average citizen is, Singapore takes the lead. This incredible rise is the result of decades of smart planning, good governance, and a focus on education, technology, and trade. Singapore proves that even a small nation can achieve remarkable prosperity, sometimes even outshining the richest and most powerful countries in the world. For Singaporeans, this is a proud moment, a sign that their nation is not just surviving but thriving. And for the rest of us, it's an important reminder: size doesn't define success, strategy and vision do. So, what do you think? Did any of these countries on the list surprise you? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more fascinating global stories here on Wanderlust Ventures.